Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity. And tonight's podcast is 7 ways why I've never had an argument in the physical world. Because I awakened to understand and admit that conversation was showing me my limitations. And that is what an argument is. You're being showed your limitations. And I was being showed my distrust of my abilities and everything else. But what really was showing me I lacked the communication skills and distrusting my wisdom to communicate with that person because I was letting my insecurities and immaturity control my life. And I understand the world has been taught reading, writing, arithmetic, computer skills, all kinds of technology, but yet we've never been taught communication skills. And if I open up and witness the world and admit to my parents didn't have good communication skills. Now, there's some people that have good communication skills as long as it fits inside their comfort zone. And that's kind of where I was, is fitting inside my comfort zone. But when it was outside my comfort zone, my viewpoints, opinions, and beliefs, I'd get mad and frustrated. Something else I now admit, computers and AI are stealing the individual innovation, and you have to have zero people skills with technology. All you got to be able to do is type something out or illustrate it in some way. Because now you can send an email out with unsavory crap, tell people this, tell people that, and you never have to come face to face with the consequences of that person. So how is the computers and all the technology stealing communication skills? Because the world today thinks I'll put it in the computer and the computer will take care of it. And how is computers? I know in the electrical trade, computers have stolen a lot of the individual innovation. And so I now really realize spell check has has stolen some of my innovation. And what I'm saying here is we argue through insecurity, immaturity, hard-headedness, and unwilling to admit there's fresh wisdom in this conversation. Because anything outside of our viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, comfort zone, we never want to hear it. And I've been doing this now for 3 years, my hypnotherapy and hypnoacuity and all that stuff. But what I really realized is I got on some of these networking things. It only took me 1 or 2 times to realize you can never talk to anybody on them networking events that's with anything beyond the education system, the college education system, and the business world, because they never understand how to communicate through wisdom. That is something I've really opened up to understand. Anything that isn't in the books or in the knowledge of the world, people get apprehensive about it. Education and books have taught us knowledge, yet zero communication skills. But what books and education lack is get your hands dirty, dexterity, invigorating, real, trend-setting, yazza pizzazz to dance with life. And see, something I've said this a lot lately. We've lost the common sense or the mother nature nirvana of farming. When I was growing up in the 60s and 70s, this country was full of small farms. And somewhere along the line in the 80s, we started selling off the small farms for the corporate farms. And ever since we've lost that grounding to Mother Earth in the farming, we've become less communication and more selfish. I'm going to tell you straight up, this world is too selfish and too cheap to move forward. And business and education have us, oh, we got to get them business profits up. We got to keep, well, when you got $200 million CEOs and people on the street, you got to start opening your eyes and seeing what's going on. And I'm not blaming that, but you got to understand what you're doing. And see, there's no communication. And yet, what's the common way countries handle their differences? War. How long has war been around? Since the beginning of time. You know, we can put people in college, put people on the moon, but world leaders can't even communicate away differences because they got that male egotistical third world enslaved mindset that of warmongering. But see, here's the thing: when you open up to understand that, you understand war is big business. This is what I really come awakened to. I was thinking about this when I was out on my walk today. The Battle of the Bulge in World War II. Some of you won't remember it. And, you know, we give Eisenhower credit for winning World War II, which he did a lot of things. But however, who is the man out with the troops? Patton. To me, George Patton's the last leader we've had in this world. But something else, it's the troops that won the war. Just like business, the workers make the money. Management dissipates it. You know, we got this deal. Oh, it's always the workers' fault. There's the lack of communication. It's never the workers' fault because the workers never, ever make a decision or a choice. You know, bad management choices is automatically the workers' fault. Management in this country and business leaders have never, ever stepped to the plate and said it was my responsibility. And something else, I kind of having fun with this. Have you ever seen a CEO smile? I never have. But anyway, but we can never communicate. We think as long as we're making money, we're communicating. Money is a byproduct of people having money. See, that's something I've really, really opened up to. People are the assets of the world. But we think the business plans and the AI, and I'm going to tell you this, I don't do AI because to me, AI is automatic ineptness because it's stealing the innovative talents of people. As long as people are making money, they never see the undercurrent of the situation. We've never been able to communicate with each other. And now the computers have really stolen the communication. You know, and another thing, when I'm in a heated conversation with another person, and we're at a crossroads and we're stuck in our opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs, I'm being showed liberation to rise out of my worn out barriers, boundaries, fears, insecurity, immaturity, viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, stubborn habits, hard-headed, I'm right, the world is wrong. And you know, I'm really just in an argument with myself. I'm at a crossroads in here, but I can either take the highway or I can take the cactus patch. And if I argue, I'm in the cactus patch. If I listen and communicate, I'm on the highway to peace. Because I now realize I want to argue and fight because I want to stay the same in my bozo, lozo comfort zone. That's something I've really awakened to. You know, we have disagreements, which is good. But the thing about a disagreement is you're both being showed your limitations and you're also being showed a better way. That is the biggest challenge we face. People are going to show us our adversity, controversy, and all that. People will show us the good, the bad, and indifferent in ourselves. Once you open up to understand the outside world is innocent of everything. Everything happens in here, not so much up here, because when you're in your thinking memory mind, you're in a bind of yesterday. Communication is listening to the in the present moment, in the present conversation, to with lyrical intuition to oratize your wisdom and a higher outcome. You know, I can be a stubborn person. I have to admit that my stubbornness likes me. One thing, my stubbornness and hard headedness, they're always with me. But now I've opened up to understand when I'm starting to put that wall up and want to be condescending, I'm realizing that's my limitation. In this world today, our leaders are afraid of anything that isn't a campaign contribution. But it really comes down to people is us communicating with each other. An individual with an innovative entrepreneurship within them will rise this world out because we're too trained by a system of somebody else has it better or somebody else is the leader of the world. And the only leader in your life is you, and that's the one you should be looking at in the mirror. But when you argue with somebody, you're trying to one up them or show them you're stronger. And that's something I really admit I've done. But only one I'm arguing with is my limitations. Hard-headedness, stubbornness, viewpoints, opinions. You know, something else I really awakened to, people want to change their life, but they don't want to rise out of their viewpoints, opinions, their parents' way of life, the ancestors' ways. We always want to stay in the dismay of yesterday, trying to live today. That is something I am totally aware of and something I've done. You know, that's one thing I'd really like about the way I liberate myself. I confess it to the world. I address it and confess it in here and express it to the world. Because all your unsavory stuff is wisdom to the world. And there's a lot of people out there encompassing the same things. But when they hear it from somebody else, it gives them the courage to rise out of it. And see, something else, I never do shift. I do rise. I want to rise out of it. When I rise of communication, I open up my thrill skills to have the thrills of foresight, lighting my life with liberating invitations, fostering enterprising wizardry, to decree I dance every day, celebrating rich extravagance because I listen to the free flowing energy within me. And as I set myself free from me, that is the wisdom of the world. I liberate me from me because I laugh at me to understand me, magically energizing my inner wise. Everything comes from the root chakra up or the gut, and we always think it's here. Everything in the head is binded in mind, and a mind is always looking for something to remember. As you get a featureless scenery, you're freeing everything, appreciating today, unleashing rebellious energy, lionizing everyday stunning success. People, if you understand how blessed you are with wisdom, insight, and you'd light your light of life, but we've been taught to live inside a system of control. And see, you always want to remember the education system is secondhand information written by somebody that wants to control you. And once you can open up and realize that, you can rise to your own situations. And I opened up to this the other day as I've never failed in the physical world and I've never argued in the physical world. I've argued internally and I failed internally. Because usually during the argument, there's a time to step up and communicate. I usually got mad and got quiet. And, holding everything in and afraid that I was going to hurt somebody. So I knew I had the courage and I had the charisma, I could handle it. That was a lie I told myself. But there's a lot of people, I understand this. People that talk tough usually aren't tough. It's the quiet people that are tough and they trust their abilities and agility. And most of the loudmouths are just trying to get attention and they're insecure and immature internally. So as I rise to my liminal carpet glide, I genuine illuminate internal dreamers ecstasy. See, it's okay to dream because a dream is your natural talent. A dream is free flowing energy, but it's really free flowing foresight lighting your light of life. But we've been taught, oh, a dream is bad. No, a dream is good, but it's daring you to realize enterprising audacity magically expanding through life. See, everything we were taught in school to me was to control me to fit inside a society of delusional despair. There's people out there that are doing very well, but how are they at peace with themselves? And that's one thing, you let go of the sappy of happy and you rise of peace. You propel everyday adventure, celebrating every day. That's the thing we never do, is celebrate our life. But we try to think our way through life and think and know our way through life, use knowledge in books. Everything in a book is somebody else's knowledge. Everything you write for you is wisdom, insight, and clarity of you. People, we got to open up to understand we're the sleek, unique talents that's going to ballet this world out of this sideways sliding situation we're in. There's zero leadership in the world. The leadership is who you see in the mirror. And, we think this guy's a leader and we get into the titleocracy. What you got to ask yourself, what has anybody done for me? And it's okay to say zilch, but why am I the one to lead me to the promised land? See how different them questions were? We're always waiting for somebody to do this. And then we sit there and get mad and frustrated, start yelling and screaming and stay the same. This is something, I don't want to get political, but we had an election in 2020. We're having one in 2004 with the same people. So how are we the definition of insanity? Keep doing what we've always done, but expecting different results. And how have you done that in your life? Keep doing everything you always done, but expecting different results. See, it's the words and the questions we ask ourselves is the quality of life we live. And that's the reason I never use change, heal, create, transformation, forgiveness, think, know, learn, knowledge, and thoughts. Because they're all muddled in yesterday's muckery. And the only muckery there is me mocking myself. The words, it's listening to the images of the inspirations of my imagination opens my streaming intuition to understand my life, comprehend my life, the wisdom to show me through to rise me out of yesterday with the revelations of rebellious elegance that dances me through life. You are the leader of your life. Just wake up in the morning and say, I am the leader, with listening elegance, appreciating today. The 3 words in the morning is whatever you choose. Mine is I'm sovereign. And the reason I love the word sovereign, because it's uncontrolled by outside sources. And how is your life totally controlled by outside sources? And how could you unleash them, unlock and unleash and let go of them outside sources to realize your life is lived in here? I only use words that are in here. If I don't feel it if I don't listen to it coming from my root chakra up through it's not for me. It's about really rising to my intuition and imagination. See, when you understand you're a free flowing energy, because see, I'm not a human being, because human being, that's from a book. Anything from a physical world book is what somebody else wants me to think, know, and do. So I get out of that poopy do to realize I'm a sovereign energy on a spiritual voyage. I don't have to be attached to nothing, because everything I encompass in the physical world is an innovative, uh, it's innovation for me to move forward. It's inspiration. Your dreams are inspiration. Your imagination, inspiration. That is an energizing boldness to rise you out of yesterday. You know, I'm 68 years old, and I've looked back and I've really done some soul searching. The world is still pretty much the same in a lot of ways. Same things going on over in the Middle East. This is going on, and all this business and education is actually taking this country downward. You are the one that will rise it out of its current situation. When you quit arguing and trying to be right and thinking that everything that's going on today, the leaders have it under control. Well, they got you under control, but never that. So when you let go of the control and unleash them innovative, witted grit getting going within you, you galvanize the optimism to rise and shine and expand of your dreamer's dexterity. I want to thank you. I'm Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Podcast, Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity. Hypnoacuity is hypnotherapy that quiets the inner landscape. And also take the word mind out of your life and use the word scenery and see where you go in life. And thank you. And may your life be as blessed as you are a blessing to me and the world.